This is the Steve Gruber Show.
It certainly is, and welcome to it as we blow into another big hour here on the program. Glad to have you along for the conversation. Fighting for you from the Foxhole of Freedom. Yeah, who do you want in your foxhole? It's an important question every day because you never know what's going to happen. Here are three big things to discuss this hour. Number one, House Oversight Chair James Comer demanding that AG Pam Bondi nullify all the pardons and executive orders not signed by Joe Biden, but instead signed by the autopen. There is a big fight brewing on this one. Number two, Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins says George Soros, with all his money, should step up and fund SNAP benefits for those who will soon have nothing to buy food. I'm guessing he won't respond. And number three, if the Democrats think they're winning the argument over the Schumer shutdown, they may want to pay attention to what we're about to talk about and what they're saying over at CNN, Chicken Noodle News. The picture for them, not rosy. What are we, in day 29 now? I lose track. We're on track to be in the longest shutdown in American history. And CNN is reporting the Republicans, believe it or not, are increasing in popularity. There's a bit of a little surge here going on. Here's Harry Etten, jacked up and ready to go.
Political standing.
Yeah, you might think, given that the Republicans are in charge of both the House and the Senate, that a government shutdown might actually hurt the Republican brand. But in fact, it hasn't. If anything, it's been helped a little bit. Take a look here, the shift in net popularity versus pre-shutdown. When we're looking at the Republican Party overall, that brand actually up 2 points. That's within the margin of error, but clearly it hasn't dropped. Come over to this side of the screen. Look at the net approval ratings for Republicans in Congress. It's actually up 5 points since pre-shutdown. So what we're seeing here is the Republican brand in Congress has actually improved somewhat compared to where we were pre-shutdown, despite the fact that Republicans control. And that's the math that John Thune and Mike Johnson are looking at is, well, hey, why should we give, an electorally speaking, when our brand has actually improved a little bit?
Well, the brand is improving a little bit, up 5 points. And that's pretty important stuff, isn't it? Pretty important stuff. And look, the Republicans are holding their ground. Democrats denying that they're responsible, even though it takes 60 Senate votes to move past the filibuster. This is Chuck Schumer's shutdown. Chuck Schumer, the guy who said it gets better for them every day. Who they are, I'm not sure. I guess Democrats only. And it's not the Democrats that are coming to the Republican side. It's the independents. As we head toward the midterm elections, boy, is that going to be a big deal. It's the independents that are coming on board with the Republicans. Here's more.
It's rallying the base for sure. Look at this, the net approval rating up 12 points versus pre-shutdown. But it's not just with the base. It's also with the middle of the electorate. Look at this, among independents. It's up 8 points as well. So we've got a situation here where Republicans with the shutdown are actually rallying their base, but it's also something that's not hurting them with the folks in the middle. If anything, it's helping them with folks in the middle. And this is the type of math that if you're Republicans, you like to see, right? Because something could rally the base but alienate those in the middle, or something could rally those in the middle but alienate the base. But the truth is, we're not seeing that. What we're seeing is the Republican brand has actually gotten better among independents, and it's also gotten better among Republicans as well, that Republican brand when it comes to those in Congress. So again, what's the electoral reason that Republicans would give in at this point?
Right, what's the reason? An 8-point bump with independents who get it, who realize it's Chuck Schumer, who's standing in the way, blocking the reopening of government. This is such a stupid game. When John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania, is the voice of reason for the Democrats, wow. We flipped the world on its head. I was talking to a Democrat friend of mine here. I was on Esquire Bob, actually, a couple of times this week. And he said, yeah, John Fetterman, the voice of reason, but wouldn't it be nice if he would actually dress like a U.S. senator? This is from a Democrat. I mean, yeah, have some decorum. The hoodie and the shorts and the work boots, the whole I just came out of a redneck bar look. Not sure I'm a big fan of that either, but I am a big fan of John Fetterman saying, look, open government up so we can get back to the conversations. And it is the independents, like I said, that are coming on board with the Republicans, so that's important. Oh, and what about the midterms for Democrats? How are they doing? One last thought. Here it is.
Democrats, how are they positioned right now?
Yeah, so, I mean, look, the generic congressional ballot, which traditionally Democrats have done really well on, and if you look at this point back when Trump was president the first time around, Democrats were up 11 points. Look at where it is now. Democrats are ahead, but they're actually only up 3 points. This is, in fact, the worst position Democrats have been on in a generic ballot at this point in midterm when there was a Republican president in the last 20 years. And this is no different from pre-shutdown. So Republicans aren't losing on this metric either. They become more popular, and they're actually in a pretty good position for them historically when it comes to the generic congressional ballot.
This is a concerning number for Democrats, would you say, in Congress?
This is a concerning number for Democrats because it's considerably worse than they traditionally do in midterm elections when there's a Republican president.
Harriet.
Yeah. There you go. Normally they'd be up by double digits. They're up by 3. History tells us if the Democrats are up only by 3 or 4 or 5 points, they do not do particularly well in a midterm election. Those are the numbers, and that's the way it is. So there's your numbers. So keep with this shutdown. Punish people. Take away their food stamps, their SNAP benefits. Don't pay government employees. It's all on the Democrats here. All they have to do is step up and say, here is a clean, continuing resolution. Yes, we support it, like they've done 13 times. 14 if you count March. 13 times with Joe Biden, 14 times if you count March. Here we are. Here's a big pivot. I mentioned this in the first hour. I didn't get to it. Bill Gates has pivoted his climate strategy to focus on poverty over carbon emissions, right? He said carbon emissions don't matter very much, but poverty matters. Disease matters. These are things that we should care about. We should deal with them in proportion to the suffering they cause, he said. Although climate change will have consequences for people in poor countries, it will not lead, here's what he said, it will not lead to humanity's demise. No kidding. No kidding, Bill. We've said that for years. It will not lead to humanity's demise. We need to refocus on poverty and preventing disease and hunger, he says. Well, that would be GMOs, Bill. GMOs like corn, beans, wheat, rice. That feeds people. Do you think a kid starving in some poor country on the planet today cares if his rice is GMO or not? No, he doesn't care. He just wants food in his bowl. Well, that's where we are with all of this, that's for sure. And Bill Gates, huge change. Huge change. Every choice we make is an opportunity to stand for freedom, even something as simple as the phone service you use. Here's the truth. Most cell phone providers don't care about you. They just want the money. Patriot Mobile's different. For a dozen years, they've stood with Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom, contributing millions of dollars to Christian conservative causes. That's why I stand with Patriot Mobile. The best part is Patriot Mobile, you don't have to sacrifice quality or service. You get the best there is because they offer premium access on all 3 major U.S. networks. You'll enjoy the same or better premium coverage as the major carriers. And if you think switching is complicated, it's not. It's really easy. And they have an American-based team to talk to you if you have questions or want to do whatever you want. Switch your phone. Upgrade your phone. Get ready with patriotmobile.com/Gruber. Patriotmobile.com/Gruber. Right now, you will get a free month of service. Hard to beat, a free month of service. Patriotmobile.com/Gruber, or you can call 972-PATRIOT. We've used it for years. Free month of service right now. What are you waiting for? It's the Steve Gruber Show.